When a man is interested, engaged, and emotionally present, his curiosity shows through the questions he asks. Relationship researcher Dr. John Gottman, known for his decades of work on communication and marriage stability, has shown that consistent interest in a partner's inner life is one of the strongest predictors of lasting connection. Questions are not random. They are the clearest sign of investment. The moment those questions disappear, something has shifted. A man who once wanted to know how your day went, what you think, or how you feel suddenly grows silent. And that silence is not neutral. It is loaded with meaning. To understand it, you need to look beyond the absence of words and see what it represents emotionally, psychologically, and relationally. These 10 explanations reveal what it means when a man stops asking questions. 1. The flow of interest has declined. When a man is genuinely drawn to someone, curiosity becomes natural. He wants details, he seeks stories, he follows up. Questions are how he builds connection. Once those questions vanish, it often signals that his natural interest has slowed down. This decline does not usually happen in a single moment. It creeps in over time, showing in smaller details, fewer texts, shorter conversations, and less attention to the things you once shared openly. He is no longer leaning in, and the silence becomes its own message. The absence of questions tells you that the spark that once fueled his curiosity is no longer strong. It means he is no longer as invested in knowing you as deeply as he once was, which is the first visible sign of emotional distance. 2. He feels disconnected from your inner world. Questions are a bridge into another person's thoughts and feelings. When he stops asking, it means he has stopped walking across that bridge. The interest in your private experiences has been replaced by distance. This lack of curiosity can leave you feeling invisible. Without his questions, your emotions sit unacknowledged, and your daily experiences are left unshared. The rhythm of intimacy breaks, and conversations begin to feel transactional rather than meaningful. The psychological explanation is simple. Where there is emotional closeness, there is inquiry. When inquiry disappears, it signals that closeness has been lost. 3. He has shifted focus elsewhere. A sudden silence often means his energy is being redirected. People do not simply lose curiosity altogether. They redirect it toward new interests, goals, or even other people. When his questions dry up, it is a sign that you are no longer the center of his attention. It could be work, personal ambitions, or someone else entirely. Yet the effect is the same. You feel you are no longer hearing the questions that once kept you close. 4. He believes he already knows enough. Sometimes, silence is not born of neglect, but of assumption. He thinks he has already figured you out, and therefore, he no longer feels the need to ask. This is a form of complacency, where curiosity dies because he assumes he has seen it all. While this may sound less damaging, it is just as destructive. A relationship thrives on ongoing discovery, not on the belief that nothing new remains to learn. When he stops asking, it means he has placed you in a fixed category rather than seeing you as an evolving person. The result is stagnation. Conversations feel predictable, and the richness of your connection fades. His lack of questions reveals that he no longer views you as someone he needs to explore. 5. He is emotionally withdrawing. When people start pulling back emotionally, they stop seeking detail. Curiosity requires energy, and withdrawal is marked by its absence. When his questions stop, it often means he is quietly retreating inside himself. This retreat can be temporary or permanent, but its impact is the same. You feel a barrier growing between you. He speaks less, engages less, and his presence feels more distant. The conversations that once brought closeness now highlight the gap between you. The psychology is straightforward. When people are pulling away, they reduce investment. The loss of questions is one of the earliest and clearest markers of that reduction. 6. He no longer values your perspective. Questions show respect for someone's viewpoint. When he stops asking what you think, it often means he no longer values your input in the same way. This can appear in everyday decisions. He chooses without asking your opinion, he solves problems without your input, and he moves forward without including your perspective. The silence is not neutral. It reflects a decision to stop considering you in meaningful ways. Respect is revealed through curiosity. Without it, the balance of partnership disappears. His lack of questions shows that your role in shaping his decisions has been minimized. 7. He is guarding himself. Silence can also be defensive. Sometimes, men stop asking questions not because they don't care, but because they don't want to reveal their own vulnerability. By not asking, they avoid reciprocity. Asking a question often requires giving something back in return. When he stops, it may be because he fears being drawn into conversations where he has to open up. His silence becomes a shield, protecting him from exposure. In this sense, the absence of questions tells you less about you and more about his unwillingness to be emotionally available. It is a strategy to avoid depth, which undermines the growth of the relationship. 8. He has stopped imagining a future with you. Future-oriented curiosity, questions about your goals, your hopes, your dreams, is a powerful sign of commitment. When those questions vanish, it often means he no longer envisions a shared future. Instead of asking about your aspirations or plans, he limits the conversation to the present. Discussions shrink, and the space you once had to dream together closes down. His silence about tomorrow reveals that he no longer sees you clearly in it. This absence is not casual. It means the bond has shifted from long-term investment to short-term presence. The lack of questions about the future is a clear signal of fading commitment. 9. He has reached emotional saturation. Sometimes men stop asking questions not because they don't care, but because they feel full. Emotional saturation occurs when they believe they have reached their limit of connection and cannot process more. This may happen after conflict, stress, or overwhelming personal struggles. The silence in questioning reflects his struggle to engage, rather than a complete lack of care. Still, the effect is the same. You feel the absence of curiosity. Saturation is dangerous because it signals he has stopped expanding emotionally with you. Without new questions, growth halts, and the relationship risks becoming stagnant. 10. He is quietly preparing to leave. In many cases, the absence of questions is the beginning of the end. When curiosity dies, the relationship is already on its way to closure. His silence means he has stopped building, and instead, he is detaching step by step. This withdrawal can last weeks or months, yet the lack of questions is always there as a sign. The man who once sought detail now avoids it because detail requires effort he no longer wants to give. In psychological terms, this is disengagement. He is creating distance so that the final break feels easier for him, even though it leaves you confused and hurt in the process. Questions are the building blocks of intimacy, respect, and commitment. When a man stops asking them, it is never neutral. It can mean loss of interest, disconnection, shifting focus, complacency, emotional withdrawal, diminished respect, guardedness, fading vision of the future, emotional saturation, or preparation to leave. Each possibility reveals something essential about the state of the relationship. Silence in this form always carries meaning, and it is one of the clearest signs that something important has changed. If you have made it this far, comment down below with the word 100% to confirm that you have received the knowledge from this video. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.